Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be comparing two self-tanners, both for the body, and it is going to be the Bondi Sands Self-Tanning Foam 1 Hour Express and the Trinity by Adair Ultra Dark Luxury Tanning Foam. So excited to be comparing them because I felt honestly like they gave me a very similar result with like undertone, darkness, just everything. So I was staring at them in my self-tanning drawer and I was like, these would be so good to compare to each other. So I thought it would be fun to see if it's worth ordering from the website or if it's more worth just running to your local store and grabbing one of these. So that's what today's gonna be. Before we get into it, please give this a thumbs up for me and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It would mean the absolute world to me, so thank you so much if you do. But if you want to see my comparison of these two self-tanners, then stay tuned for the rest of the video. Alright guys, as usual, I am just going to be reading up on the details about these and then we're going to try them out, one on one half of my body, one on the other half of my body, and I am not putting them on my face because I already have a facial self-tanner on my face, so I am not going to mess around with all that. But the first one that I have pulled up is the Bondi Sands 1 Hour Express Dark Self-Tanning Foam. Also, before I forget, just to clarify, I know the Bondi Sands one is an express tan and the Trinity by Adair Rose and Caramel one is not. I like to use the Bondi Sands one overnight. I really love the result that it gives me using it overnight, and I feel like it gives me a similar result to the Trinity by Adair when I do it that way. So that's just my little clarification. I always leave both on overnight, so just so you guys know. But yes, the Bondi Sands is 6.76 fluid ounces. They both are, so they're the same size. The Bondi Sands is $26. Actually, I am looking on the website right now and it says online only for Ulta. I don't know if that's the case for like Walgreens because I know they sell Bondi Sands at Walgreens, but for Ulta it says online only. So sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize that until right now. But yeah, $26. It says, ready when you are, the Bondi Sands 1 Hour Express Self-Tanning Foam will leave your skin with a sun-kissed Australian glow in just 1 hour. Perfect for on-the-go tanners looking to tackle last-minute tanning moments. Achieve a bronze glow with just 1 hour of wear and your tan will continue to develop long after wash. Easy to use formula, guide color to assist with application, fragrance-free, vegan and cruelty-free. But like I said, I like the result it gives me from keeping it on overnight, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And then the Trinity by Adair Ultra Dark Tanning Mousse by Rose and Caramel. The description of this one was a little bit tricky because it's her kind of take on the self-tanner and how she came up with it and stuff. Not as much of like a explanation on the self-tan, so I'm going to try to cut the description a little bit short so we could just talk about the self-tan, but I do love hers, and I have a video on this one alone if you want like the whole thing. But basically just for this video, it says she combined all three of the tans together, which made Trinity. It says Trinity has oil-free moisture to keep your skin soft, a deep and flawless guide color that looks amazing even before wash off, and my favorite scent of coconut for a light, fresh fragrance. Now I can get my desired ultra dark tan from just applying a few layers of one single tan. It's the perfect dark bronze color with just the right balance of tones to still give you that deep dark flawless bronze color without the dreaded orange tones. I've tested it over and over and over and I can honestly say it's the best tan I've ever used and I'm super proud that it's mine. And that's pretty much it. This one goes for $21.99, but that's in pounds, I believe. I know it's more expensive in dollars, but I don't know an exact amount, so I'll link it for you guys down below just so that I'm not giving you any wrong information. But yeah, on the website it says 21 pounds, and I don't know if I could change it to USD. I don't think I can. So just so you guys know, I'll link it for you. But like I said, they are the same size, so both 6.76 fluid ounces. This bottle is just bigger than this one for whatever reason. but same amount of product inside. This one has a coconut scent. This one is fragrance free, which I honestly kind of prefer fragrance free. So we'll see what happens. That's really the only stuff that I have to say. So we could start applying. I'll do Trinity on my left side and then Bondi Sands on my right side. And then we will come back and talk once both of them are applied. And I'll give you some initial thoughts and then we'll talk tomorrow for my final thoughts. So let's get started. Okay guys, I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, but as of right now, I feel like they look almost exactly the same. This one is just a little bit more olive toned than this one, but as far as how dark they are initially, I feel like they're the same. They both applied really, really nicely, like 2 seconds it took for me to apply to my body. Everything blended out so smooth, nothing is streaky, everything is super even, looks amazing on both sides. So right now I don't have a favorite. Right now I love them equally. I just feel like the undertone that I'm initially seeing on the Trinity by Chloe Adair is what I favor more typically. Like I lean more towards those like more red toned kind of things, but I feel like it's not even that red toned, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it's a good mix of everything. So like brown. Whereas the Bondi Sands one is definitely a little tiny bit more on the olive side. So we'll see how that turns out tomorrow. The Trinity one definitely has more of a smell. It's like that coconutty smell, and I could still smell it, like it hasn't gone away just yet. And the Bondi Sands, nothing. Not really noticing much of a smell, so I prefer the Bondi Sands one more as far as that goes, but that's really all the details that I have for you guys for right now. So I'm gonna sleep on both of these and then I will come back tomorrow once they are washed off and a little more developed, and then I'll give you guys some more details and let you know which one I think is more worth your money. So I will see you guys tomorrow. All right guys, it is the day after applying the self tanners and I am so shocked to see how almost identical these two self tanners are. They literally look like the same tan. Last night, after seeing the difference in the color guards, I was a little bit nervous because I was thinking that when I wake up this morning, they're gonna be totally different from each other and I'm gonna look crazy all week walking around with two very clearly different self tans on my body, but that is not the case. These literally could pass as the same exact self tanner. It's actually pretty ridiculous how similar they look. Like the Bondi Sands one last night with the color guard was a lot more olivey than the Trinity by Chloe Adair. That one was definitely more of like a true brown kind of tan, but now both of them are, I would say, a true brown kind of tan. I don't really think the Bondi Sands one is giving me too much olive. I could see maybe the tiniest difference when I'm holding them up like this in the light. Like maybe you could see like this much more olive in this than this. But if you were not like staring at me with a microscope, you would not notice the difference, honestly. Like I'm walking around like this and you would think that it's one self tanner. So I love both. That's just what I'm gonna say right off the bat. They're both freaking amazing and I will be reusing both of them like crazy, but it's really, really crazy to me how similar they are. I will say though, the Bondi Sands one, just looking at my hands mainly, it's really the only place that I noticed it specifically, but I feel like this hand and wrist looks a little bit darker than this one. So this is the Bondi Sands, this is the Chloe Adair. This one just looks a little bit darker to me, so it's literally the tiniest difference and you'd probably never be able to tell. But with that being said, Overall, I do think both of them are very much worth it. I love both. I've used both. I've made an individual video on both, so you can check both of those out too if you want more of an in-depth explanation on each one. But since I have tried both, I know how both fade. Both fade very nicely throughout the week. So there's really not much of a difference between the two. I guess the only main difference is that the Bondi Sands one, I'm pretty sure, costs a little bit less. I feel like they're gonna be really similar, but since that one is in pounds, I can't say for sure, so don't quote me on this. But I feel like the Bondi Sands one is a little bit less expensive, and it's probably gonna be less expensive to ship to you because it's coming from somewhere around here. I believe the Trinity by Chloe Adair is coming from another country. Don't quote me on that either, but I'm pretty sure that it is. So the shipping fee for that ends up being a little bit more expensive. So I would really say that that's the only kind of determiner between which one you're gonna get, because both of them are so good and look really nice. Both of them have like a nice dark color to them. And that's another thing that I wanna say too. The Bondi Sands one says that it's an express tan, but I kept it on all night and it gives me the same amount of color that the Trinity by Chloe Adair Rose and Caramel one does. So do what you will with that information, but I think both of them are beyond worth it. I think it just depends on how much more or less you're willing to spend. So I don't know, I don't really have a winner. I love both. I've been using both, I would say, fairly equally. Like whatever one I see first, I grab and I use. So that it's really not like I see one and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the one, that's my favorite. Like I feel like both of them are equally good, and clearly they are because they're doing pretty much the exact same thing for me. So it all comes down to which one you are going to want to pay for, whether it's more, whether it's less, whatever the case is. So that's pretty much it. I can't really say which one I like more because they do the same thing for me. I love both brands. I love other self tanners from both brands. They're just really similar, and I'm like stuck. And I feel like that's the first time in a long time that has happened, because I don't think I've had something this similar in like color and application and everything in a while. Like they're really similar. So I love both. I think both are going to be beyond worth your money. It just depends on which one you want to spend the money on, because that's really the only difference between the two. And that with the Bondi Sands one, my hand and my wrist look a little bit darker than with the Rose and Caramel one. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts, what you think about both of them, what you liked better. If you don't notice a difference between the two, just let me know what you're thinking as well. Give this a big thumbs up for me, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video.